What's up?
What's up? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. How we're doing? How we doing?
Doing good, doing good. Just got out of
Yeah,
class. So,
yeah.
always good.
What was up with the professor that you were telling me about earlier?
Oh, she was not happy today. She was not happy.
Oh,
When people were not paying attention in class. I actually was today. I was
oh,
I was writing down my notes. I was taking some good notes, learning about short form content. Uh
oh! What a
yeah,
class!
yeah. Um she just did not get very happy. She canceled class like halfway through
Oh,
and was saying some things under her breath. So
yeah. That's
crazy class today. Definitely woke some people up, I'm sure.
yeah. She hated everybody watching short form content in the short form content
Yeah,
class.
she wasn't expecting it to be so hands on.
Yeah, I mean, this generation knows all about TikTok. I think that's where she overstepped her boundaries.
Mm, I
Um,
already know.
NBA season has started. I'm sure you're aware of this. Um,
It's true.
how's the season been treating you?
It's been pretty good actually. I've been enjoying most of the games I've watched. I've liked the Peacock. I actually just bought Peacock, so I've been
Or
rocking with the presentation on there, and I think we've been having some really good games recently as
yeah,
well too. And Wizards beat the Mavs, so pretty happy about that.
let's go. The Trey Johnson versus Cooper Flag agenda is already starting. Um, yeah, I mean, even beyond Peacock, the Amazon Prime cast, maybe I talked about it last week, but I really like the Amazon Prime group that they got going on. I think that's a pretty awesome uh, you know, crew that they got there. I really think because I made a video about it last year how I felt the broadcast aspect, specifically the pre, half, and post game, is really falling short on the NBA. And I feel like they've made so much improvement to that. I've seen the inside the NBA guys like maybe 3 times on my screen so far this year, and that's a pretty nice number. Like usually it would be at like 30 by now, and like I'm seeing those guys less, and I'm really appreciating that. And I get to see more of Udonis Haslam explaining what a pre-switch is with like this crazy technology that maps out the entire game. Like they're cooking over there at Prime. They're cooking at Peacock. It's all pretty awesome. Blake Griffin, he's been pretty fun to watch as an analyst. I'll give Blake Griffin my individual player shout out. Anything you want to do before we get started on this week?
You want a little trivia to get the brain
Oh,
going?
yes, yes, yes. Let's go.
In honor of the 2K conjoined franchise mode, hopefully coming soon. Pat, could you tell me the top five players ranked off of their rating in NBA 2K26? Top
Oh, you
five players.
pulled out the heater on me. So maybe this is a reveal to you because this I revealed it while you were getting in. Next
Oh,
Friday will be the first released franchise episode. Uh,
let's go.
we will do them live here as well earlier during the week, and we'll chop it up into a much smaller version, more consumable on YouTube, and potentially it'll be, also compiled onto TikTok and Instagram. But the top five players and rating on 2K. So I'm going to guess Nikola Jokic is in that top five, and I'm going to guess Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is as well.
That's correct. Both those are correct.
Okay, and I'm gonna guess Giannis is also in the top five.
All right, you got the first three so far, Pat. First three.
Okay, those were the top three.
Those were the top three. Yes,
Ooh,
Jokic,
I'm going.
Antetokounmpo, and Shea.
I'm going to go with a Wardell Stephen Curry.
That is incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Incorrect.
then Luka Doncic and I'm trying to think about who 2K thinks is still. Do they perhaps still have a LeBron James in the top 5?
That is incorrect. No, not in the top five.
Was Luka correct?
Luca was, yes.
Okay, so I'm dealing with one
We have
more.
the top four.
Oh, I have the top 4. So 5th, is this Anthony Edwards?
Wow, there you go, Pat. I thought that may tripped you up a little bit, but yeah. So we have Nicola at a 98, Shea at a 98, Giannis at a 97, Luca at a 95, and at a 95. And then actually Curry and LeBron are the two guys right behind them. So you got the first seven.
Let's
Pretty good
go.
job there.
Let's go. I just had to get a couple of them wrong, but I actually haven't got the game yet. That's why, Sheldon has the game. This is very unfair. But we'll move forward here, and we have some standings in front of us, and this will be the primary topic, not necessarily on like what do we think about these standings, but any teams in here that we want to pick on early on that we want to talk about. Eastern Conference is pulled up here first. If you want to jump it back and forth between East and West, we can always do that. But I'll give you the floor first on a
Yeah.
team storyline that's really caught your eye so far.
I mean, I think the storyline of the season so far is the Philadelphia 76ers being 5-1. You see them atop of that the Eastern Conference right now, and they're doing it all without the help of Embiid. Really, VJ Edgecombe is looking like the best rookie drafted, or one of the best, I'll say, at least from a scoring perspective. He's averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he's really been showing off his athleticism. There's been some crazy dunks by him already, and he's shooting the ball really well from three, which is something that we talked about could elevate his game like immensely, and that's 42%. And Maxi's playing out of his mind as well. I kind of saw it on the first graphic, new backcourt, new best duo, and it might be Maxi's averaging 33 and 9 with 9 assists per game. He's shooting the lights out as well, and Embiid hasn't really had to play like this big factor. He's able to only play 22 minutes. Adem Bona looks really good, like especially defensively, which is kind of funny to think about. Um, and Oubre and Grimes, they're both doing their thing. The contract situation ended up working out for Philadelphia as they got Grimes back, and he's been playing really good basketball for them. And it's like it's just very crazy to see, especially
Not sure what's happened. Hold up. I'm inviting Sheldon back to the stage. I was changing the title of the episode to what the actual title is, and it has booted both of us.
that was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but it boots us both out if I change the title. So
Yeah. I was just basically finished up by saying they're playing with like just a very, very nice pace. I think the guards are doing a great job of pushing the ball up the court, and they're also playing good on defense, forcing turnovers. Even with Embiid not really being able to jump too high, as we've seen, those knees are definitely in some trouble. But I think they're doing a good job of managing him so far through the first 6 games of the season.
yeah, he's playing consistently, and that's more than we really expected. They haven't had any Paul George, and VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey look like the two best athletes in the league. And they're balling right now. It's tough. You mentioned the Embiid minutes restriction. I think they're soft. They haven't fully said that it's a minutes restriction, but they're restricting how much they're playing Embiid. He does look a step slow, and for me, the concerns right now is like how good is this team if Joel Embiid is going to consistently be a step slow like that. The 5-1 start is quite awesome, and the offense is booming, and we'll just have to see how long this carries over because I mean it's looked very good. The offense has looked as good as we could have expected it to be, and the defense has looked about as good as we expected it to be as well. So I do think there's some realness to what's happening with Philly. Um, has your opinion on them necessarily changed, or do you think it's just they had a hot stretch that you were expecting them to have anyway? It just happened to be at the beginning of the year.
I don't know, Pat. I think this team can stay around this kind of top five. To be honest, um, I kind of mentioned I really like what VJ Edgecombe has brought to the team, and I think that the guys that they have around him, like they're doing this without Paul George, and obviously we know Paul George has struggled, but he still was like a 15 point per game scorer, and you have Quentin Grimes and Oubre who are averaging close to 20. Obviously, it's the first 16 games of the season, so all these stats are very inflated, right? But I do still think like they're going to be able to do it. They have good shooting, they have good defense, and they have a superstar, and that superstar isn't even Joel Embiid, and they still have Joel Embiid on the team with Tyrese Maxey, who's continuing to prove how he's one of the best guards in the NBA. I mean, he's just really incredible. Some of the shots that he's been putting up and making throughout the season, and also his playmaking aspect is huge. Finding guys like Oubre and Quentin Grimes wide open for three.
Yeah, I think the key for me too with this team is if VJ Edgecombe is going to be like this good of a shooter, like he's shooting six threes a game at 42%. If he's going to be that good, I really do believe in this Philly team to like be a top 4 to 5 seed, like you said, throughout the rest of the season because VJ will be able to just like play them into a ton of games and make a lot more lineups make sense because they can play a non-shooter if they need to at the four with a Dembona, which they've done quite frequently so far this season. I think they started him at least one game, maybe two games so far this year. It just makes a lot more lineups work if VJ Edgecombe is shooting as well as he has to start the season, which not to say that we didn't think he was ever going to shoot, but we never really thought he was going to be this good of a shooter right away in his NBA career. Obviously, there's still time for things to normalize a little bit, but if this is real, then like you said, this is a 4 to 5 seed probably for the rest of the season, regardless of what happens with Joel Embiid. Um, should we talk about any other of these teams? I'm sure there is. Um,
I mean, there's some teams we can talk about, but let's bounce it over to the West real quick, Pat, if you don't mind.
got it, got it. I know you got one on the top of your head. I can tell.
I got one on the top of my head. I don't know if it's the one you're thinking though, but I mean, it's got to be the Trailblazers. This team has been looking really fun recently. I mean, I don't know if it's because Chauncey Billups is gone and now they don't have to. They're not playing in rigged games or what's going on. But yeah, we'll talk about Denny Avdia, who's like becoming a star, low key, which is awesome to see and also a little painful. 22 points per game off six rebounding. And the thing for him is the shooting's really improved. I think at the first stretch of the season, uh, let me see real quick his career. Yeah, I mean, a guy that's been inconsistent kind of from the 3 point line, either shooting above average or a little bit below, but he's been shooting really well so far from the 3 point line. He's also been doing really good driving to the basket and getting rebounds, but also Jeremy Grant, he's been playing a lot better recently, actually being able to score while also playing some defense. Like the ability for him to score is actually like big for Portland because that hasn't been there for the past couple of years, right? And he's shooting the ball extremely well from the 3 point line. Drew Holiday, not only is he doing it with his leadership and defense, but he's shooting the ball like he did in Boston, like really good shots, getting shots up and scoring them. Donovan Clingan is also doing a really good job at the center position, anchoring everything down. Young Hassan, he's been in there a little bit, not a huge impact, but yeah, I mean, I think even like the guys that aren't getting significant minutes, like Caleb Love has been able to shoot the ball pretty well from the 3 point line, and I'm pretty sure he was undrafted or at least a late second round pick. Shandon Sharp also playing well, and we know Tumani Kamara can play good defense. And this is a team that like they're not like beating like bad teams. Like I want to say this is a fluke run. They beat the Nuggets, they beat the Lakers, they barely lose to the Clippers, they beat the Warriors. Really blow them out. They played in all close games in their losses too against good Western Conference teams. So I think the Trailblazers. Maybe I should have put them a little bit higher up in our first episode because they're looking like a pretty good team. What do you think, Pat?
Jeez, I'm trying to look at where I had them because you mentioned all of the veteran players like Jeremy Grant playing way better than he did a year ago. Drew Holiday playing much better than he did a year ago. I think the key with Drew Holiday is he's looking like a facilitating first point guard suddenly, which he really has never played that role in his entire NBA career, and now he's 35 doing that. Um, yeah, I mean, Jeremy Grant was pretty bad last season. He is now playing pretty good. Donovan Clingan, second year Clingan, is pretty awesome. He's averaging 10 boards a game and only 26 minutes a game. So, yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. And then, their role, like deep down the bench guys, you mentioned a few of them. You didn't even mention Matisse Thybulle and Blake Wesley, which is like they are a dynamic defensive duo off the bench. Everybody knows what Thybulle's been doing, but, Blake Wesley is a guy who kind of went to rot in San Antonio the past couple seasons, and he's somebody they just tell him to come off the bench and just cause as much havoc as possible. He might be shooting like 30% from the field. Okay, 42% from the field. Um, but I mean, he's still very impactful in ball games as a non-shooting guard because they tell him to go crazy, and you got Donovan Clingan behind you defensively, you'll be okay. And Rob Williams as well is behind him. So like they just got a ton going on. Denny looks so awesome, like as good as he's ever been. And Jeremy Grant averaging 21 off the bench. Didn't quite expect this so far this season. Maybe Chauncey was holding Jeremy Grant back.
Yeah, and Pat, you make a great point off the bench. Like, I feel like that. I remember I was watching the Trailblazers game the other night, and they were saying, like, the announcers were saying, like, that may have been the thing that Grant needed to come off the bench and be able to score. And then maybe we see him play eventually into the starting lineup, but right now, keep him right there because he's doing great things. And it's been some really interesting coaching by Thiago Splitter coming into a crazy situation.
Yeah, I'll talk about the team that I thought you were going to talk about, and it's not the OKC Thunder because neither of us are surprised that they're 7-0. Um, the San Antonio Spurs, maybe I owe them an apology because Dylan Harper watched him, as a college prospect. I did like him, but I didn't think he was going to be a good defender at all, and he's a day one pretty decent NBA defender. I think a lot of that's effort based and role based, but he looks great defensively, and his decisiveness as a passer looks so much more improved. I think the Mavericks game on opening night, he threw like this outstanding like full court, not full court, but like half court transition lob. Of course, it was to Wemby, so like how much are we going to give Dylan Harper credit for that? I'm not sure, but he looks pretty good to start his NBA career. Like already, like his all around game is better than I anticipated it being so far this season. And yeah, they haven't had De'Aaron Fox, and I'm sure we're going to analyze how much De'Aaron Fox is going to help when he comes back. But I mean, Steph Castle has done a great De'Aaron Fox impression. He's done a great job getting out in transition, forcing deflections. Steph Castle looks a lot better this season, way more explosive. He was obviously really explosive last year, but he even looks more explosive than he did a year ago. Um, I still don't know how much I like the Spurs. I'm pretty sure Wemby has a quite ridiculous on-off number so far to start the season, and I'm pretty sure they're still not really that good when he's on the bench. But yeah, they're going crazy, and we have to mention Victor Wembanyama as he's averaging 27-14, and I think he's averaging about 5 blocks a game so far to start the season. Yeah, 4.5. So he's probably going well on his way to his next blocks title. Um, should we talk about the Wembanyama?
Yeah, I think we definitely have to. And the craziest thing, Pat, he's shooting 28% from the 3 point line, and he's still averaging all these great numbers. And we know how great of a 3 point shooter he is. But I think there's just so much improvement in his game this year. The footwork seems a lot better. Getting able to or being able to get to the rim with like actually using strength and not just your length, I think is what has been really big for him as well. Because now he's able to muscle his way into where you're literally having just put your hands up and put it in the basket because you're so tall. Uh, he's been a freak, and also on defense as well. He's been doing really good, rebounding the ball. He's averaging 13 rebounds, almost 14 already this season. And his game is definitely elevated, and his footwork has been really incredible. I think. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this was the next slide right here. Figured I would show it.
Yeah,
Um,
the Suns seemed to figure out something that last night or a couple of nights ago, with the Wemby effect, only out him the 9 points, but I think he's definitely gonna be in the MVP ladder for a pretty big part of the season this year.
did you watch that Suns game? Because I was not able to catch that one. And
I watched they sent a lot of doubles to him in the high
okay,
post, and that really got to him. Like made it forced like a ton of mid range jumpers for him, where he's like having to step through two defenders and like kind of lean back a little bit. They're also super physical, but the Suns just had a huge lead the whole game basically, and especially once Wemby went off. Yeah, it was rough.
yeah, what Wemby currently is reminding me of is like first couple years of MVP level Giannis, where he's so physically unstoppable that he's going to get his. I think his game still has some rounding out to do before I really believe it in him to like carry a team in the playoffs. I think specifically like you said, if they could easily send a ton of doubles to him, a lot of that's because he's still developing as a playmaker. He's obviously an advanced playmaker for someone who is 7'7", but he's still got some room to go to be like a central part of an championship level offense. But Wemby's been so awesome to start the year, and like it's been one of the 3 or 4 best players in the league so far. And yeah, I'm not surprised, but it's been quite shocking how good he's been. Even like you said, while he's not shooting the three ball well, and he's also decreased the volume a little bit too.
Yeah,
So it's been quite crazy. Do you want to bounce back to the East? Because I actually do have an East team that I've really had some strong takeaways from.
yeah. Let's hear it.
So there's this team that neither of us thought was a great team, but we thought they were a middle of the pack team, and large reason for that is we thought they had 2 good players, and I think they've potentially gotten a third good player, and that is Ryan Rollins of the Milwaukee Bucks. Dude has been awesome. He's so good defensively. His playmaking's taken a step forward this season. The 3-point shot is obviously really good. He's kind of just been an all around NBA guard for a lot of his career, and now like the shooting is really taking a huge step forward into like a whole different level. If he's playing as good as he is right now, he is better for the Milwaukee Bucks than Damian Lillard was a season ago because he can play off the ball consistently. He is such a good defensive player, and he's athletic enough to create a couple more passing angles than Damian Lillard. So I think Ryan Rollins' play has been extraordinary so far, and if this it could hold up is what I'm saying. Like I don't see it what's been happening with him to be anything that of a fluke. He diced up the Warriors for about 33, I think. Uh, Without Giannis playing that game, like do you have anything on Ryan Rollins or any other Milwaukee Bucks players?
Yeah, he's been doing really good, and also I think when I was watching the Knicks Bucks game, AJ Griffin stood out to me. Hit literally three straight threes. Um,
AJ Green, yeah.
Oh, AJ Green. Yeah, not Griffin. AJ Green. He hit three straight threes to go on a personal 9-0 run, and just absolutely crush the Knicks' kind of like chances in that game, really. Shooting over 50% from the 3-point line this season, which is just incredible. Not only that, he's averaging 6 per game. So he's giving you just 9 off of 3-pointers right there. Really good stuff from him. This Bucks team has been looking really good despite all their not having like a couple guys, not having like a bunch of superstars. And like you said, the emergence of Ryan Rollins could put them in a spot where this is a Bucks team that is still going to be talked about, like how the Bucks teams have in the past with Giannis, because Giannis is already putting up MVP conversation numbers again this season.
I have a preliminary question. Is
Ooh,
there going to be an MVP ladder this week, or are you going to wait till the second recap?
I'm gonna wait for the second one. I
Okay.
want to get everything vetted out because Austin
It's
Reeves
early.
might be this week. So yeah. So I want to
Yeah.
make sure everything's all good.
I
We'll
was
do it
I
for
was
next
gonna
time.
tell you that you could wait a week so you don't have to put Austin Reeves at 5. Um,
Austin Reeves over Luca.
yeah, I was gonna tell you you didn't have to make that ranking so far, and you can wait
Yeah.
2 weeks. But, I'll just say my quick Giannis thought. The offense looks so, so good with Giannis. I think he's lost a little bit on defense. Just watching him a couple of games, he looks pretty slow-footed, and part of why we didn't like the Miles Turner signing as much as we normally would with how much we love Miles Turner. It's because we kind of think Giannis might be a center at this point. I don't know. It's something to keep tabs on, especially during the regular season when he is going to be carrying such a ridiculous offensive load. I think he's what is he averaging, like 33 so far this season? It might be even more than that. Like it's been ridiculous. 34. Um, not too many points. um, but yeah, it's just another thing to keep tabs on as the season goes on. I do have another slide that relates to two of these Eastern Conference teams. Are there any teams here in the East that we need to talk about? And I'll let
Okay.
you know if you bring up one of the two
Okay.
teams.
All right. Um. Let me talk about. I'll talk about the Heat. I think the Heat have been looking like a pretty decent
Defer.
team. What?
We'll defer to the slide on the Heat.
Oh, so okay. So wait.
Yeah, I'll just tell you the other one's the Bulls. So we'll defer on those two teams.
Okay. Um. I'll talk about the Hawks. The Hawks so far. It's been a pretty disappointing stretch. 3-4. Like wins over the Nets, Pacers, and the Magic. Losing to some pretty good teams, honestly. Yeah, losing to some pretty good teams, so you can't really fault them too much. Jalen Johnson's been looking really good. Trey Young's been struggling though, Pat. Just a little bit, or actually a lot. 37% from the field, 19% from the 3 point line, averaging 17 per game. Still doing good playmaking, 7 assists. Nikhil Alexander Walker's looked like such a good signing for them, averaging 16 points per game. Porzingis has been playing pretty good. And Okongwu has been doing good as well. And he's been taking up him and Porzingis have been splitting the center minutes pretty well. I think that Quinn Snyder's doing a great job of that. And Okongwu, he's giving you 13 and 8 on the boards, and he's shooting 39%. So he's able to stretch the floor, kind of like what I talked about. Obviously, he's not going to have a lot of attempts per game, but he's still been able to stretch the floor. Jalen Johnson has looked incredible. Not even finding his 3 point shot yet. The Hawks they have some tough losses. Got lucky in Orlando, and Orlando's another team I'll talk about real quick, Pat, and you can maybe talk about them a little bit more. But I mean, for a team that just got Jalen Suggs back and Desmond Bain, uh, they have looked horrible from the perimeter still, and the offense has been killing them in games. Uh, they just played the Pistons and they couldn't get a shot and then ended up losing. Like they couldn't really score against them. They've really struggled this year, and I'm worried about them, Pat. Especially if the 3 point shooting is not going to be there from the guys that they signed and have on the team to be those 3 point shooters. I mean, Desmond Bain's shooting 25% right now. Suggs 35%, but Suggs hasn't really been doing anything offensively. So it's been interesting to see, Pat, as you see them sitting at 3-4 in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, so I gotta make my reaction to the Magic news, right? Like I gotta make I was gonna have something pulled up, but you went through it faster than I anticipated. So I'm just going to use a
Sorry,
Google
sorry,
image.
I didn't want to be talking for too long.
You're too efficient. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous. That's what the Magic are. That's what they
lacking.
said to Palo, and this is my
Yeah,
reaction to the Palo. What? No way, right? Yeah. Are
yeah.
we?
Paolo's been struggling, and you'll talk about it real quick. All I want to say is that shot was crazy. That shot attempt he had, that was absurd. With like so much time left on the clock too.
No shot clock even, just fade away, pull up three.
Crazy.
Was who was that against? Was that against Philly as well?
No, I want to say it was like the Cleveland. No, it was Atlanta. I think.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was Atlanta. I can double check. Yeah, it was Atlanta.
Yeah, so there was like a wild 24-hour media period where everybody was turning on Paolo, and I was like, wow, am I surprised? No. I've been saying this stuff for 2 years now. But yeah, he's just had a rough start to the season. Obviously, like he isn't a player who's like as inefficient as he's been, but he does play a style of basketball that it does render like real inefficiency. And I think a lot of the passes he's been given so far have been only related to him being a number one overall pick. And it's been a rough start to the season for him. But as we see, the Magic are still 3-4 and can make a run here, especially if he's not literally like hot garbage. Like that's what he's been so far. Yeah, we'll quickly touch on Indiana and New Orleans. Their picks are currently projected to both be in the top five. New Orleans has traded both of those picks in the last 6 months. Let's go New Orleans, where we love Joe Dumars. We'll talk about any other West teams, and then we'll get forward into the even further into this presentation.
I mean, the Lakers AR-15 has been doing really good. Obviously, he's been having an insane year, and yeah, there he is. Uh, Austin Reeves this year, 31 points per game, 9 assists, 5 boards. He's shooting 34% from the field, 48% or 48% from the field, 34% from the 3 point line. He's carried in the games that Luka has not been able to play in. He's carried them to a 5-2 record, and this is all without LeBron. So that's looking really good. Rui Hachimura has been playing really good as well. 15 points, 4 boards, shooting well from the 3 point line, and Aiden's been looking like a serviceable big, limiting some of the big guys. I think he did good against. Let's see, he did good against like Rudy Gobert, Klingon, and he had a pretty good game, or not a pretty good game against the Warriors, but he's been able to hold his own a lot better than I initially thought. Uh, he still has had some problems in that first game. They definitely showed a lot of fadeaways, a lot of mid-range jumpers he was taking that fans were not happy with. Also, Jake Olavia has been playing out of his mind and has looked like such a good steal for the Lakers, averaging 12 points off of great shooting, 50%. In his last couple games, he's been balling out 25, 25, 13, and 27, all shooting good from the 3 point line. So Lakers got some good guys around Luka and LeBron.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton 1.8 free throw attempts per game. That's up from a season ago. And we're just mentioning it. I believe Marcus Smart has had two coaches decision DMPs so far this season. Um so what a signing on that end. But yeah, Laravia has been pretty awesome. Aiden's offense has looked a lot better. He looks a little bit more engaged rolling to the rim. I think it was the Minnesota game where Luca and Anthony Edwards combined for like 40 in the first quarter, and they were just going at each other. And like midway through the game, they like JJ Redick, I'm assuming, like yelled at DeAndre Ayton to go to the rim, rolls to the rim 3 times in a row, and Luca, two of them he hits DeAndre Ayton on the roll. One ends up in a dunk, one ends up in free throws, and then the other one he looks off the defender, throws a skip pass, no look skip pass, I believe to Laravia in the corner. It needs to be that good of an action like it's been. It's gotten awesome looks, and he's been awesome, like you said. What do we think about this Austin Reeves jump? How real do we think this is?
I think is 100% real, Pat. I talked about him last year as being a guy that I thought would be a most improved player. And I talked about him in the offseason as a guy who improved as a player. I think he's looked way more confident, and he's not even like doing like crazy things from 3 point line. He's just like doing what he's doing here, making tough buckets, making tough mid ranges, getting to the lane easily as well. Not only is he making tough shots, but he's able to create non tough shots, easy layups, easy dunk opportunities. Uh, I mean, I think the numbers are going to dip a little bit once LeBron comes back, but I think this is the Lakers' third star, and hopefully he shows up come playoff time. So, like, I think he's a lot better than people are thinking.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now, he's playing so great right now. Like it's like legitimately MVP level is how well he's playing. His efficiency has gone up year over year with like a huge spike in usage. His usage went from 23% last year to now almost 31%, and his true shooting's at 65%, which is like Rudy Gobert only like shoots dunks and layups at the rim, and that's probably around where his true shooting typically lands. Austin Reeves has been so awesome. The assist rates way up, the efficiency way up. So many more self-created buckets from him, and like he just looks so good out there. And I'm part of me is thinking that this is a real jump, and he's like legit an MVP level scorer. And like we'll see as the season goes on, but like at the very least, he looks like an all-star level player. And a lot of it, like I last year I was very skeptical on the Tyler Hero leap because it was primarily just him shooting more frequently, and he shot the highest percentage basically of his career. This season with Reeves, it's like he's still shooting high percentages like he always has, except now he's doing a lot more with the ball in his hands. I do believe this jump from Austin Reeves at least is somewhat real. Maybe it's not 32 points per game and 9 assists real, but like it looks super good out there. Um, and like you mentioned, the role players with them have been really good. Other than that, I really don't have too much. We can talk about Houston for a split second because they've been running this point guard by committee experiment. So have the Dallas Mavericks. Now let me say NBA opening night, and then one of the other games that I watched from them was against the Raptors, Mavs versus Raptors. I was really pissed for them to be running Cooper Flag at point guard, and then I watched D'Angelo Russell play basketball, and I was no longer pissed because it was pretty bad. Now the Rocket side of it is a more interesting conversation. How have we liked their offense so far to start the year?
It's been a little clunky at times, but I think the last couple games, Amen Thompson has been able to figure a couple of things out. He's been able to score a lot more from that point guard position. I think KD has been doing good for them. He's not doing too much, and that's kind of what we talk about. KD is a guy who gets an easy 20, 25, and he also involves his teammates a lot. I feel like that's how it's going to be. And honestly, Sengun is like looking really, really good this year. The opening night game, he was, I mean, absolutely amazing. That was such a fun game to watch. Uh, and this year, he's averaging 22 points, 7 assists, 8 boards. He's shooting it from the 3 point line, actually, giving them a good like 5 out spacing while still being able to run Steven Adams as their big man. And then you could put Sengun at the 4 and have him spread the floor. Jabari Smith has looked a lot better too. And like I said, I think Amen Thompson is going to keep improving at that point guard position. It's a team that just has so many stars they're able to score. Like we see, like a bunch of guys are averaging double digits. So I think this team is going to be still really good.
One thing to look out for. Alperen Şengün is shooting a career high, I believe, in attempts per game from three at 3.4, and he is shooting 53% to start the season.
Yep.
It's been really great. Houston is actually first in damn near every advanced team indicator except record. They have a 14 SRS so far to start the year. Their expected record is first in the league. Their offensive rating is first in the league. Their defense is actually what's been sluggish so far to start the season. I've thought their offense has looked very clunky at times, but in the games I haven't watched, they've done very well offensively. I think sometimes I think it is something that like if they are going to continue to be the best offense in the league, they're obviously going to be a contender. But I think if they like just patch up a couple of things, they can be one of the best offenses in the league. 'Cause they were a top half offense last season with Jalen Green, like literally throwing possessions in the shredder, and now they have Kevin Durant to throw less possessions in the shredder, and honestly, like not throw most of the possessions in the shredder and actually get buckets. um, a lot more frequently. And Kevin Durant has even been better than he's been in the past couple seasons. He's even taken a step forward. It looks pretty damn good for Kevin Durant out there, honestly. Like he's shooting 55% from the field. He's shooting slightly less threes than he ever has, and they've been using him in more of a an old school post up a wing type of role. It's been pretty weird. I think they need to find a couple more pet plays, but they have plenty of time to do that as the season goes over. I will have to throw out my one take because I remember texting it to you. This was, I believe, after the second Houston game. Um, do you want to read off my take for everyone to laugh at me for?
It was the way you worded it was so weird, but I remember it was KD something about on off, right?
It
Or
was
no,
Kevin Durant will have
negative on off, right?
he will have a negative on off this season.
Yeah,
He's currently at a 0.9. So we'll see
could
how that
happen.
stacks up throughout the year.
Hey, it could happen.
Yeah, they with Kevin Durant off the floor, their offensive rating is a 135 or 131. So I don't know. I don't know. No, the basis of that was primarily just the offense looks really weird, and then when they gave Amen Thompson the ball against OKC, they got a lot better looks than when they were trying to run high post Kevin Durant offense. We'll see how that holds up. That's mainly just a hot take. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but. Houston's been still really good. Like the 3-1 record is deceptive. Like I said, plus 14 SRS so far to start the season. I think they're pretty damn good. Um, yeah, you ready to move forward?
Yeah.
So here we got the high score so far to start the season. It's a big conversation at the start of the year. SGA has the highest scoring game. We're going to keep an update on this as the year goes on. Larry Markkinen and Austin Reeves and Aaron Gordon have all dropped 50 this season. Luca has I believe in every game he's played, he has scored near 40 points. He's got 3 of the top 10 scoring games so far this season. I believe he has number 11 as well. Steph Curry, Jamal Murray, Tyrese Maxey are also in this top 10. I guess there's not too much to comment on here, but do you remember watching any of these games live? What was super fun about them? Any takeaways?
I'm pretty sure I watched the AG 50 ball. That wasn't a
Yes.
loss, correct? Or was
It
that the one
wasn't
and
a
one?
loss.
Yeah.
I believe that was also the 42 from Steph.
Yeah, yeah. That was a crazy game. The Steph game was insane. Like he literally couldn't miss from three. And he hit a three to send the game into overtime. Aaron Gordon as well had the hot hand. Started off with two open 3 pointers. I forget how many he ended up having. Like I think like 7 or 8. Like he's honestly like reinvented his game to be such a great shooter. It's really incredible to watch. AR-15 was shooting really well that game. Um, I may have watched some of the Maxi 43 ball, and I remember the SGA one. He got going really late in the fourth quarter. A lot of free throws. Same for AR-15, but still not going to discredit a 50 ball. He was incredible. Just hitting that like quick step back 2 point jumper from the wing. Like every time it was automatic. It was insane.
I believe the Shea game was right after the Aaron Gordon game, I believe. Um, I remember watching the end of the Aaron Gordon Steph game. I believe that was also on a Sunday or Monday night, so there was an NFL game going too. So I was probably flipping between those to watch as much as I could, and then yeah, the Shea game, like you said, he got going in the fourth quarter. Then they go into overtime. 20, what was it? 25 free throws that people were complaining about when of course, he's playing against Benedict Mathurin, so Benedict Mathurin will guarantee that the best player will shoot 5 free throws more than on average. So, not really anything I would put any stock into, but it was quite a game from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and we love the the Los Angeles Lakers having 4, I believe, of these top 10 games so far. Well, it's been quite awesome. Um, moving forward, this is the huge takeaway from this calendar section for me is the new offensive evolution. And
Mm.
what do I mean by this? Well, people have taken notes from the successful offenses of years past. That still doesn't really describe what I'm supposed to be saying because obviously they're taking notes from other people. But Indiana Pacers are the big offensive team. They've been one of the best offenses in the league each of the past 2 seasons when they've been a healthy team. They haven't been healthy this season. They're not going to be. And the key with that was playing with a ton of pace, not many set plays, and having a point guard who will distribute the ball, having a full team aspect of scoring to where it's very egalitarian. Um, they're always hunting the best shot. Another aspect is the Memphis Grizzlies from a year ago, where they set, I believe, like 10 pick and rolls a game last season, and people went crazy about it. But during that period of time, Memphis had the best offense that they've had over the past 5 seasons. Now, what has happened is Miami has adopted that Memphis style of play, except they have done it in a way that isn't five out based. That was kind of the key with the Memphis style is they were very much a five out team last season, and now Miami is really using those principles to create a pretty fun offense so far to start the season. Not sure where they rank in offensive rating, but they've been putting up a lot of raw points, and they've been like it's pretty legit. Like if they're getting role players open 3-point attempts, and that's going to be a key to scoring. And they've typically been a great defense with Eric Spoelstra. They're currently third in the NBA. Them having the 10th best offense like they currently do is huge for Miami. Chicago, we mentioned their 5-1 start. Josh Giddey has really taken over. They've really used him well in hunting like smaller guards guarding him and use that as a way to create micro advantages, and they've continued those quite frequently. They always will have a big man shooter out there with either Jalen Smith or Nikola Vucevic to get this traditional five out spacing. And it's looked pretty good offensively for Chicago. They started 5-1. Um, do either of these teams really stand out to you? Notice I didn't mention Memphis.
Yeah, I think Miami's sticks out to me the most. I remember I was watching some segment. I forget what show it was on, but they had Blake Griffin, so I think it was Prime.
Hmm.
And Bam was explaining the Miami offense and the constant motion that they had, constant guys cutting, constant guys filling space, going into space that was just vacated. I think it's really, really good for them. And they've done this without Tyler Hero playing yet. And once he comes in there, that's going to even be better for him as a shooter. And everyone else around him has been playing really well. Kyle Ware has been playing so good. Bam has been playing so good. And they've benefited from the offense moving so fluidly. And it's been really good to watch.
Yeah, and huge step forward from Jaime Jaquez Jr. so far this season. He was like terrible last season. Quite frankly, he was terrible last year, and he's averaging 19 a game. His efficiency's way up. He's making everything at the rim. He's consistently getting to the basket. He's looked a ton better. I think, the system prioritizing driving lanes has been really big for him in that aspect. He's not really having to go through traffic as much as he normally has. And they really need that considering they're a team that likes to play two bigs. Even though they're both shooters, they're like shooters that are constantly disrespected by defenses with Bam and Ware so far in their careers. So I mean, it's looked pretty good with them. And then Chicago, we'll see how it holds up. Um, they typically will have stretches year to year or year in year out where they do go on these hot runs. Usually it's in March, and it's very easy to discredit it when it happens in March. But they've looked really good so far. Giddey is making shots, and if, like I said last year in our Bulls episode, if Josh Giddey continues to hit shots, Josh Giddey will be a pretty damn good player. So, do you have any input on Chicago, or do we have to wait 2 weeks on them?
Uh, Yeah, I have to wait. I haven't really got into a lot of Bulls games yet this season, so I'm gonna have to wait on them.
I've unfortunately gotten to three. Two of them were the Knicks games where Karl Anthony Towns, he probably will need to learn Chinese if he continues to play like he has. Um, but yeah, I've gone to one other game outside of that. I can't remember which team they were playing. We try to watch so many games that we cluster them all up together.
Yeah,
Um, I feel like they were playing Detroit when I watched them. That's a possibility. Uh, I did watch them against Orlando. I remember that. So I did watch Chicago against Orlando. That was quite the game. I can pull up this box score, I believe, to strike my memory on what I saw. But yeah, the Trey Jones is like the key for me because he's been really great defensively. He's been disruptive. He's been starting a lot in place of Kobe White, who's been out to start the season. Modest Bizelis has taken steps forward as a shooter and a defender, and I really like what I'm seeing there. And then they just have shooters coming off the bench with Kevin Herter, Patrick Williams. They've shot the ball well so far this season, and yeah, they get contribution pretty much all the way through the lineup. Now, do we think these players are necessarily great players? No, we didn't think so going into the year, so we're going to hold out 2 weeks before we really get ambitious about the Chicago Bulls. But they've started the year really well. Yeah, other than that, we do have the John Morant 1 game suspension following a loss. It was to a bad team to lose to, I believe. Correct? Was it?
might have been the
Do you know
Warriors
which team it was?
or
Okay,
the
maybe,
Nuggets.
maybe I am mistaken on if it was a bad team to lose to. Um,
Yeah, I don't know if
but
it was that bad of a team.
he
I'm
had a
trying.
pretty
I'm
tough game.
looking right now. It wasn't the Raptors, so it was the Lakers.
Okay. Yeah, he had like 12 on like 4 13. Really rough game. Um, and he kind of threw the coaching staff out under the bus for what's gone on, which is pretty rough. A lot of people were not pleased with him getting a 1 game suspension for what happened. I'll give you the floor on your opinions on this situation.
I remember one of our season questions was going to be like star player traded. Who's the first star player traded? I don't know if we ever got to it in the first episode or in our predictions episode, but I wrote down John Morant. I think that John Morant could be gone this season in Memphis, and that was before any of this even happened. Like I could just see him being unhappy with the amount of winning going on given the state of their roster. But now you have a situation whereas yeah, your star player has a bad game, but when you have like players like star players going down the stretch, they can make you forget about the game they had by going out there and scoring. You lose by 5 points. It would have been nice to have John Morant out there. You know, a lot of teams still need point guards, and a lot of teams are monitoring the situation. So I think that this is definitely a scenario where we could see John Morant in a different city, different uniform this season, even before the All Star break.
Yeah, he's had a abysmal start to the season, quite frankly, and we've typically been support John Morant type of podcast, but yeah, I mean it's been a rough start to the season. We were very critical on the firing of Taylor Jenkins because they had never really had a great regular season offense until they implemented their system a year ago, and it seemed like they primarily moved on from that because John Morant was not receiving enough attention in the offense. And now he's with a coaching staff that is giving him the primacy that he's wanted and the amount of pick and roll reps that he's wanted. And he's just been really rough to start the season. And then he's blaming the coaching staff for what's going on. So it's very hard to defend John Morant in this situation, in my opinion. Do we have any great team fits for John Morant? Should he be, you know, ousted from Memphis?
I mean, he could come down the southeast, Orlando, Miami, possibly. That'd be like a crazy matchup, I think. Both teams, I don't really know if Orlando would do it just because they just got Desmond Bain. But maybe Miami, they want to take a shot at it. Um, Besides that, Dallas, Dallas could use a point guard. Not really sure what they'd give up, but I mean, they already have Kyrie coming back, but still, I mean, Kyrie wasn't the point guard when Luka was on the team. Uh, Nico Harrison could try to get the Maverick fans back in his liking, and maybe the Mavericks low key have a possibility for a late playoff seed, a late or a lower playoff seed, get Kyrie back, have John Morant. I don't know. That's just that'd be a crazy. That's like a big if, you know.
Yeah, I'm penciling it in. All right, Brooklyn is going to trade for Ja Morant, and he's going to suddenly be hurt
They're gonna trade Claxton.
mysteriously.
They're
Yeah,
not gonna trade one of their point guards. Don't worry.
yeah, they'll trade Claxton, MPJ, and nothing, and Memphis will be like, yeah, sure, why not? Um, this is actually giving me flashbacks to my fake trade that I made middle of the off season that John Morant was like the star player being traded. Um, Obviously a very satirical trade. I don't even remember the ins and outs of it, but the Chicago Bulls were involved. They were getting trash wing players because they love those. Um, so I don't know. Maybe it's a three-teamer and RJ Barrett goes to Chicago. It's what it's sounding like to me. Um, yeah. Other than that, yeah, you mentioned Miami. Miami, I think, is a pretty decent fit for him. I'm sure they probably have a way to do it financially. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. And then, you know, other than that, I mean, Sacramento would 100% throw the throw a crazy trade offer at John Morant, not knowing that he has not played games these past couple years, and then for that same reason. New Orleans would 100% just throw in all of the remaining picks that they don't know that they're trading. Um, yeah. Other than that, do we have any storylines that we want to touch on?
I mean, I think the Pelicans storyline's pretty big. They're 0-6, and they don't have their draft pick next year. Willie Green, right? That's their head coach.
Yep.
He's looking like he's possibly going to get fired. Uh, Not a lot of players are liking him. That's been the general thing. But Zion's been healthy. Zion's been playing, getting some cool dunks in. Team's still 0-6. Uh, yeah, I think besides that, I mean, I think we've covered all the pretty big storylines. Cedric Howard's been playing good for the Grizzlies. Uh, Edgecomb's been playing really good.
Ryan Kalkbrenner's caught on already.
Yeah.
Um, the rookies. I think I'm going to change how I do the rookies this year. How I'm going to do it is I'm going to have, I guess, a tier list of players. I'm going to have like it's going to work as like, do you graduate into being an NBA player? And I am going to extend myself to the fourth week of the season as well on that standpoint because I don't want any fake early shooting stretches to cloud my judgment. So I'm going to give myself 4 weeks before I graduate somebody to, oh, you are a good player. I'm not sure how I'm going to arrange the tiers just yet, but that that is how I'm going to do it this year rather than last year where I'm kind of doing like a top 5 rookie tier list. It was just kind of weird. Yeah, Cedric Howard has been playing good, like you said, and shout out to Jalen Wells. I believe he's already back from his gruesome knee injury, and I was kind of not expecting that so far. And he's been rough to start the year, but just seeing him back on the floor is pretty good sign so far. Um, Washington Wizards. I have not watched a Wizards game. They play the Knicks tonight, actually. Um, Going to
We've been all
loosely
right.
watch.
We've been all right. Keyshawn George is looking really good. He's been dropping a lot of 20 bombs. McCollum sucks. He's terrible. Uh, Kind of wish we didn't trade Jordan Poole. I knew it. I knew McCollum wasn't going to be any good. Like he's missing layups. He's getting the rims and just misses so many layups.
The
Um,
preseason over under on his points per game was 22 and a half, and I was like, that's the most obvious
Yeah,
under of all time. He's
maybe
never done
maybe
that in his career.
maybe we have to might have to investigate him. I don't really like Brian Keefe.
Ooh.
Not a big Brian Keefe guy. Uh, I feel like no lead is ever safe with him at the coaching helm. Blew a lead to the 76ers. Unfortunate, really unfortunate, actually. Would have been nice to get a win there. But Alex Sarr is making a big sophomore jump, looking really good as like a dominant center, not only defensively, but offensively as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things going on in Washington. I mean, obviously, it's going to be like next couple years before we talk about this team being anything serious, but there's a lot of good pieces.
Real quick, I have to get the update. He is now oh my goodness. Wait, no, don't tell me that's real.
Hmm.
Oh, that's percentage of field goals. I was like, "Oh my God, he shot 18% on layups last year." Um, he is now up to 73% at the rim. Now there is some dunks in there, but uh, as a big, but his touch is it's improving. That's the key with Alex Sarr. The touch is getting better. He's making threes now. The vision is starting to fill out, and if Alex Sarr continues to play like this, I don't do a sophomores ladder. Maybe that's something I should investigate doing a sophomores
That
ladder.
could be maybe like every other
Ooh.
type thing where it's not as consistent, but you sprinkle it in every now and then, you know?
Alternate it on the times when I'm not doing the rookie tier list.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way to do it for sure. AJ Mitchell's at the top of
Oh,
that ladder,
wow. Yeah.
100%.
We didn't really talk about the Thunder at all, but he makes their offense 10 times more scarier
He comes in the game and does a fake Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and
as a lefty, right?
yeah, he's a lefty.
Okay.
Oh, who was it the other day that I watched shoot, and I was like, oh yeah, he is left-handed. It was Herb Jones. It was Herb Jones. I forget that he's
That's crazy.
left-handed. And he's such a good player, and I love Herb Jones. But sometimes it's just like, oh, he's just not really in the game right now, so kind of forget his handedness. He does look like a right-handed player. I don't know how to describe it, but
I
yeah.
got you. I got you.
Other than that, ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah.
Well, good to get this one in here. I think this is about the target length of these episodes. This is probably just under an hour with the editing mistakes that I've probably will have to edit out. But yeah, next episode that you guys will be seeing is the uh, NBA player quotes, our favorite NBA quotes.
Ooh,
Going to be great. We're going to mix in tweets as well, just because that adds a new dimension to it. Um, I think
scary.
we'll both have 10 quotes slash tweets that we're wanting to hear or that we're wanting to put out there, and I don't know. I don't know. We might put them in a tier list. We might send complaints to somebody about. I don't know. We're gonna love these quotes and tweets. Except Michael Porter Jr. But we will be sending everybody to watch his
We'll
podcast.
do those on Patreon. Our Patreon.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a Patreon for the MPJ episode. I
Yeah.
agree. Um, that's gonna have to go on the private Substack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what to look forward to, and then next week will be the start of the 2K My
Ooh.
League that we've been teasing about so far. It will be coming out
Very soon. Very
on
soon.
the 14th. The 14th. Keep your eyes peeled. That'll do it for this one. We will wrap this up.